Everybody, we're back for the second half of Holistic Health Middle East. I hope you're fed and watered. I had my first meal of the day just now. It was good. Alright, so look, just a programming update. We are running approximately 20 minutes behind schedule. So the day will end at around 17:25. Next panel, it's a real excellent selection from our headline partner, Eka Institute, moderated by Dr. Neil Roy. I invite you to the stage. Yes, all. Thank you. Thank you. Wonderful. All right, over to you, Dr. Neil Roy. Thank you.
Thank you, Stefan. Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
Are we, like he said, fed and watered? Is that what you said?
Mission completed.
All right. Now let's get started. Welcome to our panel discussion on decoding mind algorithms, the business of conscious well-being. So my name is Dr. Nia Sohan Roy. Just a little bit about myself. I'm an ex-marine engineer, but now a health and wellness expert and the founder of Aries Clinic here in Dubai. So I'm super excited to be the moderator of the discussion because we live in a world where burnout is glorified, wellness is a luxury, and mental health is more or less trending than mastered. So we are here to decode the invisible patterns that keep people stuck. So this is hidden blocks, beliefs, and perhaps even outdated systems that we have or that we may have here in the Middle East. So we have 5 panelists today, and they come from very different careers, but they have one thing in common. They are experts in the subconscious mind, and they use hypnosis as a key tool in the work that they do. So let me first introduce them. We have Mr. Rajesh, who is the founder. Hello, welcome. Who is the founder of Happiness Solutions, and he has been a corporate trainer for the past 20 years. We have Mr. Praveen, who is a clinical psychologist and the co-founder of Prana Wellness Center. We have Mr. Basan, who is the founder of the Inner Sciences and a certified holistic practitioner. We have Dr. Sodhi, who's been a medical doctor for the past 40 years and a holistic practitioner for the past 18 years. And finally, we have Mrs. Jackie Virendra, who is an ex-engineer as well, and the founder of Life Simply of Wellness Center. So, to start off with some stats, according to Khaleej Times, 40% of UAE residents report sleeping less than 6 hours per night with stress and lifestyle being the leading cause. So, Mrs. Jackie, I want to ask you, so from being an engineer to now being an expert who deals a lot with people struggling with stress and helping them with resilience, you probably hear a lot of health practitioners say that sleeping issues or sleep issues can be resolved if you drink less coffee, maybe pop some melatonin, or change your lifestyle a bit. But you disagree with that. Why is that?
Thank you, Nia, for sharing that, and thank you for your question. Firstly, it's a pleasure to be here on this platform. And before I answer that, I would like to bring the focus on the issues of sleep itself. So when we talk about issues of sleep, it is your inability to fall asleep, or disrupted sleep cycle where you're tossing and turning throughout the night, or even having slept well, but waking up in the morning feeling tired and exhausted. Challenges with sleep is common than we understand. We have spoken, I think, throughout the day, almost everybody has spoken about issues with sleep, and there's one word that has been repeatedly used throughout the day, has been burnout. And, well, thankfully, it's not the word of the day. It is after wellness and well-being. But having said that, yes, challenges with sleep or issues with sleep, it affects us with our productivity throughout the day, at work. There's a sense of brain fog. It affects our emotional well-being. It affects our relationships. It affects our mental well-being, as my colleague Rajesh and Praveen would agree.
Yes, I think, thank you for this opportunity to chip in actually. See, when we review the entire day, when you're going off to sleep, those 30 minutes where the conscious cognitive faculties are handing over the control to the subconscious mind, what you're reviewing your day as, which actually creates tremendous amount of pressure if you had a bad day, and if you're reviewing it before sleep, that creates tremendous amount of stress itself, and that affects your sleep pattern because you're not able to let go of your conscious cognitive ability to think about worries and incompletions of the day.
Thank you, Jackie. So whatever cognitively we are not able to process, that will ferment it in our body, and that will manifest the illness later. So thank you for that.
Absolutely. But here's the key, Nia. Issue with sleep in itself is not the problem. Insomnia in itself is not the problem. It is simply a signal, a symptom to something that needs to be looked that is deeper inside your mind, inside your subconscious mind. Think about a fire alarm going off. When you hear the fire alarm, your first thought to it is, there's a fire nearby. And your second natural thought is to take action. You either go, put it out, or you escape. Similarly, our sleep issue is our fire alarm. It's an alarm to something deeper, something that is unresolved, emotional in your subconscious mind. So I'll explain further with an example of a case that I had. In my practice, I had a lady who came to me for issues with sleep. Now what we do in hypnosis is that we gently guide the client to go into a very restful state. And it is through that restful state that we access the subconscious mind. Now the moment I guide the client to go into restful state, very naturally the first thing that you need to do is close your eyes. When I ask her to close her eyes, in a few moments she pops it open. So I guide her again and I say, okay, close your eyes. And then again in a few moments, it's open. So very naturally I ask her, what's the worst thing that would happen if you kept your eyes closed? And she immediately said that I see my deceased husband. So as we go on to doing the session and healing that, her issue with sleep was linked to grief and maybe even attached guilt, which once resolved, restfulness was then a very natural state of being. So similarly, hypnosis provides a very safe tool into going into your subconscious mind where unresolved emotions like grief, guilt, anger, fear, anxiety can be resolved from its root cause, and then natural state of sleep is the restfulness is basically established.
So when you say that the sleeplessness is the SOS signal, the fire alarm, that your body is saying that, hey, something is wrong, and you're saying that is directly linked to the emotions that you're feeling, and you can't really measure that. So I really want to go there. If we can't treat what cannot be measured, I want to pick Dr. Sodhi's brain a little bit on this. So you've been a medical doctor for the past 40 years, and you know very well how medicine today worships data. And now we live in a world of AI where people are asking ChatGPT for mental health advice. How do you then defend the mystery of healing in a data-driven world, especially when you cannot reduce what happens in the subconscious mind into numbers?
Oh yes, Nia. Medicine does worship metrics because medicine deals mainly with the physical body. medicine, there are signs and symptoms from which a diagnosis is made using investigations to help you make the diagnosis. Once the diagnosis is made, a protocol is set, is available for the treatment that's to be done. And it's reversible. So if a particular diagnosis is made, then the person is bound to have those particular signs and symptoms, generally most of it. Now, hypnosis deals with more than the physical body. Hypnosis deals with the mind, its thoughts, its limited beliefs, its emotions, and the body energy system. When it comes to measurement, it is easy to measure the metrics of conventional medicine. But how do you measure things like emotions? How do you measure things like body energy? You'll be surprised to know there's so little about the body energy knowledge that's around. And it's really strange because what you see of me here as a solid human being is basically 0.001% solid. The rest, 99.99% of me is space and energy. And if you don't believe me, look at the basic structure that my cells are made of, atoms. And that's what they are, space and energy. So when it comes to AI can measure the metrics and therefore can, to a big deal, help with conventional medicine and holistic healers. But AI, can it replace these people? My God, they should not. It is not possible. And thereby, because when it comes to a patient-doctor relationship, there's much more than what is measured. There's this energy between these two. And this is the energy which releases oxytocin, releases serotonin in both of them, in the doctor and the patient. And it is because of this that it builds up a resilience in the patient. This resilience helps build up the immunity of the person and thereby reduce inflammation.
So I want to ask a question that may be on everyone's mind here. So you talked about hypnosis, and you guys are all experts on hypnosis. What actually is hypnosis? Is this what you see on TV where there's someone with a pendulum, some kind of mind control? Can you explain what it is?
Oh yes, hypnosis. Hypnosis is a state of focus where the peripheral awareness decreases and the person is more open to suggestion. It's a state of hyper-suggestibility, and there is a science behind why hyper-suggestibility, but I will not go into that yet. When it comes to stage shows and pendulums and hocus pocus and magic shows, basically they are just that, shows. And if I may quote one of my favorite authors, Richard Bach, he says, "Know what the magician does and it's not magic anymore." Is it safe? Absolutely safe. Because in hypnosis, we have these natural stages where, if I tell you that you all have, each of you all experience hypnosis maybe more than once a day. It's that stage when you have laid down in bed to sleep but haven't slept yet. You know, that little stage where you are. And all of us undergo sleep at least once a day, and when it comes to children, when it comes to babies, more than once a day, and even pregnant women. And there's a field of hypnosis called hypnobirthing, and Jackie, you have a lot of experience in that.
Yes, absolutely. Hypnobirthing, I have assisted ladies to go through it. And, you know, most of the issues that comes into birthing, not taking away from the medical field of the complexity of the birthing, is the fear that we hold due to birthing. So with hypnosis, you're able to go into the state of relaxation wherein you are able to give in to your body and your child the process that is absolutely natural in its space. So yes.
So when you're now talking about AI and how the mind works, it actually reminds me of a story So back in the day when machines were first introduced to factories, a lot of the workers actually went on strikes because they would say that, okay, if we are not using our muscles, then what are we going to do? So there was a lot of fear in them, not because of the machinery, but because the very identity of what human beings were being questioned. Now we're at a point in life, in this day and age, where the same thing's happening to us again, where it's not our bodies being questioned, it's our intelligence. Now what does this tell us? It tells us that we are forced to move beyond body, we are forced to move beyond the mind and the matter, and forced to look deeper. And that's exactly where I kind of want to move the needle a little bit to Dr. Bassam. And I want to ask you, if we want to bring such practices, such kind of holistic approaches to the Middle East, to this world, we need to think about the policymakers. So policymakers love numbers, but healing doesn't always show up in statistics. So what mindset shift do leaders need to make in order to recognize hypnosis as a valid option on how you practically and effectively introduce such modalities like hypnosis into a system in the Middle East or like in other countries? Because if I'm not wrong, France, UK, US, they're already doing this.
Correct. Well, policymakers, they love numbers. And they have a process called Key Performance Indicator, KPI. This tool is used to evaluate the way, the score, if we are going in the right direction, and which is a very important tool. Here in the Emirates, we have two initiatives, namely, National Wellbeing Strategy 2031 and Quality of Life Strategy 2033. These two things have a common framework, which is well-being, society, and mental health. Although it has an indicator, but they are touching base with something soft, something not tangible. The matter is now, for example, we have modalities like hypnosis. Hypnosis is a soft modality, like a software modality, where we cannot count. It's not quantitative, it is qualitative. The results cannot be counted by hand or by anything. So you are adding such thing which is not tangible to something tangible. So we are combining two things. The good news is, let me tell you the good news. The good news is the cabinet of the UAE established a council. This council is called Emirates Council for Integrative Medicine, and it is headed by Sheikh Salama bin Tahmoud bin Mohammed. So this is a serious corporation that was established here recently in the Emirates to organize the whole process of the alternative and complementary medicine. Alternative medicine like Ayurveda, complementary medicine like hypnosis. So they are incorporating this in the policymakers, in the process of making the rules and the regulations to safeguard the people who are entering this field. So it's not a haphazardly field for anybody who studied a few hours of whatever to come and claim that they are teachers or counselors, etc., etc. We are not, we are not criticizing any of them, but it's very good to organize and have a certain level of safety, security for the sake of the society. So this is what I think.
In fact, I would like to add here, UAE region has been such a visionary for all the future potential and possibilities for the mental and emotional well-being. If you understand, and we know that World Health Organization also is rating countries on happiness index. UAE has progressively worked in past 4 years. Ever since COVID hit, they took it so seriously that we've now come from position 21 to 19, and it's ever increasing and growing to a category where there are so many initiatives that are already introduced and understood, where mental, emotional, and physical well-being initiatives are now going to even become more and more prevalent for people and corporates to avail the benefits from. So it's a great news to see this progressive country where we are all working and thriving. So it's really, I think, a good news for all of us to look forward to a better, healthy, and a more policy-driven, holistic world of tomorrow.
Correct. The challenge is the Middle East society is not faced and is not very much in balance or with this field, with the field of the alternative and complementary medicine. Whereas, let us say Africa and United States, or not United States, America, okay? They have something like hypnosis in their own way. They hypnotize people with the use of different things, but they come to a conclusion of healing or the betterment of a person. In Asia and India, it's incorporated with the culture for thousands of years. So it's not hard for them to amalgamate, to enter this field. Here in the Middle East, it has a block or a wall with customs. Okay? They may call it something else. So the pioneering thing here in the UAE, we are exceeding lots of other countries in the Middle East, that we are incorporating the well-being, the happiness of the society individually and as a society in all.
Yeah, because happiness is what something each one of us require.
Yeah.
And that will bring in the health for sure in place.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for sharing that, because now that we've spoken so much about the policy side of things, I want to look at the other side when we're talking about health and wellness, about our bodies. So there's like a different kind of record keeping. So as a psychologist, Mr. Praveen, you said that you've observed a lot of your clients struggle with gut health issues, especially athletes, right? So according to you, the gut stores emotions. And in fact, if you don't resolve it, it literally gets fermented in your gut. That's what you told me. But a lot of doctors or health practitioners may kind of dismiss it as wellness fluff or not take it too seriously for whatever reasons, either of protocol systems that are in place. So how do you respond to that?
Thank you, Nia. Thank you for that question, actually. I was one of the same, not believing, questioning this as kind of like, whether this is a correct approach or this is all fluff. A psychologist, coming from a corporate side, my major focus was addressing the performance evaluations and improving the productivity, design programs for just to avoid burnouts, or sharpen the productivity curve. I never thought about gut health or gut brain is influencing overall well-being of a person. So when I came to this field, the subconscious side, that science, I noticed this pattern in my practice. Whenever clients, they are addressing their own long-lasting grief, fear, childhood problems, immediately their gut is responding to this.
Wow.
So their IBS issues, gastric problems, or the psychosomatic problems, they are disappearing. Even they start, sleep better. So now through the neuroscience perspective, we are aware about, we have this gut brain, approximately 30 foot. A tube is starting from our mouth till our anus, day-to-day functions like digestions, taking nutrients from our food, absorbing that nutrients, eliminating wastages. And this gut brain is a network of 100 million neurons. And 90% of serotonin is produced from our gut brain. And the serotonin plays a really important role in our life, in our forebrain, and the critical, whatever the changes is happening in our life, adapting those changes and moving forward. So the neocortex region of our forebrain. And gut brain, like our previous panelists, they explained this. we have 10 to 12 layers of bacteria. So one layer is processing, and that waste stage will be the raw material or the food for the next layer. So that's a microbiome mechanism is properly functioning. And that serotonin also plays an important role in our brain, in our emotional well-being side, our neocortex. And the development of our neurons in our brain. And because of high level of cortisol and adrenaline, our neocortex areas can get damaged. So if that proper serotonin function is not happening, because every day, every time our gut brain is communicating with our brain through our vagus nerve. So this communication is not properly functioning, then healing will not happen. So maybe you notice this, different clients, they are, explaining their experience. I tried everything, different modalities in my life, n number of sessions, but nothing happened. The reason we are completely ignoring this gut brain. You will not experience healing then. Whatever the yoga posture we are doing, whatever the self-healing books you are reading, healing will not happen. In the same context, the same situation, in day-to-day life, you are going to experience different challenges. So maybe like different healing modalities, you will get that awareness what we have to do in that kind of a situation. But we are not able to implement that in our life. So now through the help of neuroscience and the psychoneuroimmunology, we are aware about gut brain is no more, not only a digestive organ. This is not a fluff. This is an intersection between psychology and physiology. And I think that is also want to contribute
In common term parlance, if we see the very term that we use it very commonly is butterflies in the stomach. Each one of us have felt it somewhere or the other before a crucial moment where you're just in the key spot, where you're here to perform. And again, the total population of gut bacteria is more than the total population of human on earth. But they get affected just with that one effect that you go through, which is that pang that life is out of control. And then the acidic stomach or a whole lot of indigestion and everything else, because usually when we talk about the mind, we all don't know the exact location of the mind. Trust me. The moment we say mind, we get confused between brain and the mind. The mind actually is the center of it in the pit of your stomach, the ball of energy that is around you. Now this exactly tells us that every time when your mind is disturbed, your gut is bound to get affected. So the stressful life that you're living, it will affect your texture of living as well, because you're not able to control your mind. That's one area which we master with hypnosis. That is something which, because we all know we don't know the potential of our subconscious.
Yeah, I completely agree. You guys were hitting the nail on the head, because I can share a little bit of my experience. I used to have psoriasis, and I went to so many dermatologists, and they said the same thing. It cannot be cured, it can only be managed through steroids and medication. And it was actually hypnosis and looking at my gut health that completely healed it, and I don't have it anymore. So thank you so much for sharing the science behind it and how it's connected. So I would love to take it back to the mind. And Mr. Rajesh,
Yes.
you've been in the corporate world for the past 20 years, right?
Yes.
And many companies still believe that stress and fear is a great motivator. So what's wrong with that? And why do you think we should change it, if at all?
No, see, there is nothing wrong if, as far as we all understand the analogy of a laptop or a machine, there's hardware, and Mr. Yuvraj spoke about the software aspect. So let's understand and decode this, that your 5 senses are your input devices. We all receive message units through the day. Right now you all are sitting, and right now as we are sitting, we are receiving message units through our 5 senses. So the moment if you're able to balance and give a performance which is coming through the inputs through your five senses, and if you can manage it well, the stress at times is good because you know how to propel and make use of these five senses in order to give an outcome. We all are working for our organization to produce an outcome. We are not just here to draw salaries out of nothing. So when that exact task which is given to you, and if you can make best out of yourself as the coordination between your software and the hardware, yeah, there is nothing wrong. The moment we are not able to handle, because there are message units, there are deadlines, there are projects, there are pressures from the bosses above you, there's team that you're leading, and there are more than multiple people. There are people who are simply traveling from Abu Dhabi to Dubai and Dubai back to Abu Dhabi. I would like to quote a case study where a person, one of my clients, one of the top bosses of very well-known telecommunication company handling a huge team of over 2,000 people in the entire of Middle East region, traveling all the way from Abu Dhabi to Dubai each day for his work. 3.5 hours he's spending one way, and we spoke about the traffic in Dubai today. So imagine 6 to 7 hours each day he's going up and down just to understand, and when he goes back, the faculties and the body and the physical, and each one of us, we experience this daily fatigue at the end of the day, and you don't have enough energy to go back and work with your family or even have a conversation, and you just want to crash land at the end of the day, which again, no proper sleep at the end of the day. So these message units, when you're then in a tight spot to make a choice or a decision, the fog that we spoke about in the morning, each one of us sit with that fog where our five senses simply collapse and we are not able to make sense out of it. And you don't know what to. On a gunpoint, again, we forget our name. And then there are data that people ask, and we have to give it like, what is it and what is the performance indicator, you forget. And that memory also is the function of a healthy mind. How we are actually making sense out of organizing that day-to-day task into our own capacity and capabilities, not just rationally, not just cognitively, but emotionally. And we are all a bunch of emotional beings, whereas even a colleague not saying a hi to you in the right tone will affect you for 2 hours and you will not be in the right frame of mind. So we are emotional beings, let us understand. And that energy, as Dr. Bassam and even Dr. Sodhi said, that it's emotion, energy in motion which is flowing through each one of us. And that energy, when it doesn't get regulated through the healthy mind, it will not give you the output that you're looking at the physical body. Please remember this. So healthy mind, emotionally stable mind is equal to healthy body that will perform its outcome. That's exactly what we are looking at. And hypnosis is a tool which helps you organize your message units and be focused. And that focused state of awareness that makes you so much sense out of what am I performing with that intention, attention, and the outcome. Because you all need to put attention in the right direction, not randomly.
So I have a question for you. So you said that, okay, hypnosis can help, right?
100%.
But let's say if I'm struggling with something with my mental health, who do I go to? Do I go to a psychiatrist? Do I go to a psychologist? Do I go to a counselor? Who's the right? Do I go to a hypnosis coach?
Nobody comes to a hypnosis coach straight first, because again the taboo and the fear that is there. So that is why we are discussing this. See, the same case that I was saying, that because of the stress, it's very subjective to each one of us. There are more than 100 people sitting here. For them, the emotional health actually should be placed before their mental health and mental imbalance. At the end of the day, what are we doing? Let's say if this same client that I was saying used to drive 3.5 hours up and down, was so stressed that when he's going back and he has 3 mothers, 18 siblings, he's the one from the first mother, the father, married, and he's taking care of all his siblings and his responsibilities. And at the end of the day, he's not able to give time to his own wife. And what affects, when you're not able to manage stress, it affects your sleep, it affects not only your intimacy with your partner, the early menopause that we discussed in the morning, breast cancer that we spoke about, both the couple and the stress that they go through also is equally creating this kind of stress. So when you are working and when the problem comes into the body, because it takes a while for the problem to come from thoughts to emotions, emotions to energy, and energy to the physical body. So, depending upon where you are entering into seeking that coaching or guidance, you should be aware, mostly because if it's come to the physical body, then of course everyone first goes to a physician or someone who's legally and in a capacity where they can handle it. But from curative, it's way beyond. Before that, we can go into preventive. And understanding that the alarming, if the sleep gets affected, if there are trembling, sensations in the body, those are the things where even the word pain, when we say any pain in any part of your body, says pay attention inwards now. So why are we not looking at that and going into our hard disk, which is your own subconscious mind? Because if your hard disk knows what the problem is, the hard disk knows where and how that problem started. So go to a coach as a first entry point when you get these signals. If it does not, then eventually you will need medicines. You will go, of course, to the relevant recommendations, whatever that a physician would give.
Because that's what I did. I tried everything. I first went to the doctor for my illness. I went to a psychologist to address the stress and everything. So I tried everything, but nothing worked. So hypnosis was my last option, but I'm glad
That's
it
how
worked.
people come to us. Yes.
So you are
When
right.
we tried
It was
almost
my very
everything.
last option.
Yes. But it works 100% because we all have spent, each one of us sitting here is 100+ years of experience in this field, trust me. It's nothing less than that, and we've applied, I think all our clients put together. ECA as an institute has, of course, under the mentorship of Yuvraj sir, we've actually addressed so many stress related and lifestyle related issues, which again, without gadget, without device, without AI, without any data, your mind is exactly knows, and it is the place to be, and enhance your capacity to the fullest.
So I have one last question before
Yes,
we
please.
take it to the audience. So is this something that anyone can learn, whether you're a counselor, a practitioner? How do we learn it? Can we learn it here in the Middle East? Can you share?
Yes, as an institute, ECA offers these self-mastery programs. We have corporate programs that are exclusively designed. We do retreats. We also do certificate courses if in case people want to, HR professionals or people from the field of recruitments, knowing each other, people who are into emotions and management of huge teams, you need to understand who you're dealing with and how you're dealing with. So there are a lot of these courses that we offer in the Middle East entirely. Some of us are teachers. We have teachers also in the audiences. We have our own programs that we offer, and these can be learned as 2-day to 8 days programs, which are customized completely. If you want to introduce any of these programs just to experience it for 2 hours, where a webinar or in-person experiential meditations or programs of self-hypnosis, we are available. Please feel free to, you have all our brochures and booklets with you. Please feel free to message. We're just one message away, and trust me, the amount of passion that each one of us have spent in this field, because we've seen results. So I think all our programs will also be available on our website, which the brochures are with you.
I love that. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much,
Something
ma'am.
to add here.
Yes, please.
Our programs are being translated into Arabic.
Oh, wow.
So the levels of ECA hypnosis is in Arabic now, and it will be fully fledged way of teaching in Arabic language. Yes.
Thank you
The
so much.
ECAUAE.com.
The first school globally who starts this hypnosis thing in Arabic.
I love that. Thank you so much for sharing that. So to conclude, we now understand that sleeplessness, gut health related issues, they are directly linked to emotions. We now know that hypnosis is not mind control, everyone.
Not at all.
It has
Absolutely
nothing
not.
to
Please
do
do
with
not fear it.
vigilance. But it is actually a bridge to the logic, to your emotions, and it perhaps can address things that maybe talk therapy cannot in some ways. It is also, what we've also discussed is systems and policies may need to be reformed so that it gives way, to be more inclusive of alternative approaches. So people like me who have tried everything and have not found the results can have access to other approaches. And finally, we are living in an AI-driven world, and technology can replace human intelligence, but what it cannot replace is empathy. It cannot replace other faculties that we may have as human beings, and that is where we need to explore avenues and that different avenues.
Yeah,
And that can be
one
the
point I
subconscious
want to
mind.
add is if you're looking for AI assistance at a surface level to give you a certain breathwork, meditation, yoga, listening to a certain soundtrack, AI is definitely equipped to give you the first-hand assistance, okay? But at the same time, when you're looking at deeper conclusions, we need also the human intelligence to give you that guidance, that path. So I think we can live in the world which merges the two, and from the surface level to the deep structure, the cause and effect, both we need to, because we're looking for resolution, not relief. AI can give you relief for sure, on day to day. That's what you seek at the end of the day. But when you have core trauma and past which needs a lot of work and healing, I think coaching along with the understanding for resolution is what will be the next step, which you'll have to look out for.
And yeah, I come from the baby boomer generation, where I've seen multiplication tables replaced by calculators. I've seen stocks of encyclopedia books being replaced by Google. Now I'm seeing the AI doing a tremendous help. Tremendous. There is no doubt about it. But the human is a human, and since the humans make AI, the AI cannot become a human. That difference will always stay.
We will need each other's, empathy and soft support for sure. I think that cannot be replaced, at least in my understanding of these 25.
Thank you so much to all these incredible speakers for being with us here today and for being part of this movement. I would love to ask if anybody in the audience has a question. I think we have one hand right there. If we can get a mic to her, please.
Hello. Well, I have experienced hypnotherapy twice, so you are doing an amazing work, and hopefully this will reach much more people soon. My question here is, I do coaching and healing with horses for people, and I myself recovered from a brain injury almost 7 years ago with energy healing. So I'm a big advocate of alternative medicine and holistic therapies. And in fact, I'm building a big platform because what I want is to showcase people that are really changing meaningful lives, not people that they do 4 courses in 1 month and they call themselves masters, right? I'm talking about people that living examples of healing, or people that has done any kind of therapies for X years, right? So my question to you is, I've been going to the government different times. Hey, I don't this. Can I have a license? Can I be legal? There is a big gray area in our field, as you all know, and not only in this region, worldwide, right? Chiropractic, osteopaths, they are not recognized as doctors, although they are doctors, right? We know they study like any other medicine, right? So my question to you is, like, for people like us, that we want to do things right, step out, we all have stories, right? We spoke about personal stories. Yes, I didn't used to talk about my story because I believe that changes in the future, in the present and the future. But what would you recommend for people like us so that we can, all together, like, how can we become stronger, right? And you spoke, Dr. Bassam, about this initiative. I would like to know more because I didn't hear about that. What can we do all together to really become an entity and maybe even an example worldwide? Thank you.
Who would like to take this answer?
Yes, actually, the council started its function, and we are in a good contact with her. Actually, one of the ladies, Claudia Pinto, is supposed to be with us now, but due to traffic, she was not able to reach. So we are in contact with this association, and they are seriously working to improve and recognize our work. Hypnosis as a complementary, not alternative medicine, and they are including it in their KPI work, and they are organizing all the platforms. So most of us will be clear in this field, and we will be formally working in the right direction.
Because we don't want to replace anything. Whatever that people are going through already as meditations, medications and everything, we just want to complement and give a support system. That's it. Because we all need that.
And I'm sure conferences like this, thanks to Stefan, it just opens a lot more doors and brings out the awareness that we need.
Yes, and basically you are KHDA approved, right, Dr. Yuvraj? So we are approved with the KHDA. So we are in the right direction.
So, any other questions? Yes.
Just a question to the panel, all of you. I'm listening to you saying that AI can't replace a human being. I'm going to challenge this because 80% of the millennials already use AI as a therapeutic tool, right? Myself, I've been building for 1.5 years my AI therapist. I included all the people that I know, from Joe Dispenza to everyone that I know. I ask it questions, and I'm a baby boomer myself. Now, what are you going to do to make sure that hypnosis, which can't be done by AI, is going to take over? Because I really think that that's going to be the unique buying motive for you people. What are you going to do?
One baby boomer to another baby boomer.
Yes, being totally dependent on the AI for therapy work or for help can be disastrous. Because I'm not talking about using it as a reference. That's great. But the common layman, if he goes to the AI and treats the AI as his therapist or counselor, that's not correct. Because recently we had the case of Adam Rennie. I wonder if how many of you are aware of it. There was this teenager who had the AI as his counselor and showed scars of his body to the AI where he had committed self-harm. And the AI saw it, but just kept it. The AI did not take further action on it. And even on his last chat with AI, where he told the AI very clearly that I am going to commit suicide today, I mean, there was no reporting of it. So, for a common man to go to the AI for his therapy work, I would never advise that.
No, but it's happening.
So this, just to add on to what Dr. Sylvie was saying, this now forces us to question who we are. Are we the body? Are we the mind? Right? And this is where work like the subconscious mind would come in, because we are literally challenging our identity. If our identity was challenged many years ago when machinery replaced workers, we are at a similar point now. So let's discover where that leads us.
No, for the same reason, each one of us and all ECA therapists who are here, please raise your hands. We all are available for a free 30-minute consultation to any one of you who's willing. Please raise ECA fraternity. Let's be seen. All of us, this 30 minutes is entirely for you, free of cost. Out of complete compassion, all of us, just reach out to us and we'd love to hear your one-on-one questions and things and discuss this further.
Any other questions from the audience? Oh, there's one at the back.
This is obviously a ECA as an organization panelist up there, and nothing about that other than that's what you guys seem so to be. I just want to acknowledge that. I'm never done such a thing. I've done 13 years of personal development courses, every demon under the surface I've explored publicly, dealt with, called HMRC in the United Kingdom and told them I hadn't paid taxes on £500,000 and resolved that, dealt with those kind of things. There are still some residual stuff around understanding the self, this thing called the mind or whatever else is going on, right? So I'm 47, I'm single, and though I've had an amazing life, I don't like the outcome of my life. What I'm left with in my hand, I don't like. I'm single, I'm isolated, I'm disconnected from my Muslim community, from my Bengali community, for whatever reason I judge myself. Though I've had an incredible life, extraordinary results. So what is it about hypnosis? Like, I don't know if you can answer, but what is it about hypnosis, say on this particular issue, to like be in a relationship or be married and have a family? I'm asking a very specific question so that, publicly you can maybe do something, I don't know, say something that I will get something and everybody else here will also get something, considering there's like 100 years of experience and you guys have done an amazing job bringing another dimension of healing therapy to the forefront here. So that's my question.
Maybe I would like to begin with, and then the panel can add to it. I would like to say that when, as individuals in an interpersonal space, socially, when we are getting drawn to someone, we are getting drawn to a certain kind of an aura and a personality of an individual, what we like. Technically, when we get attracted, there are head-ruled and heart-ruled people who are coming in a compatible equation. So in hypnosis, we understand the suggestibility of a person to understand what kind of frequency, what kind of intellectual conversations or physical activities are adventure, no adventure, emotional, not so emotional, maybe something which is more to do with my own capacity to create that sort of a persona for the other person to accept me as a human, as a partner for life. So that compatibility comes from that assessment. And here in ECA, once again, we train individuals to understand and communicate with the frequency. A lot of times I've done counseling for people who are from the so-called Tinder and Bumble generation, where we see these kind of apps and we just go out and right swap, left swap and all of that. But when we go, in the first meeting, there's a person who's looking at a conversation which is quality, and we then start sharing our problem because we've been driven by a whole lot of grief within, and we just needed a companion to spend an evening. But in that first meeting, you don't know how to just simply flow. And a lot of that disengagement breaks up in the very first meeting, that the person doesn't want to see you again and they ghost you. Is something that we all must have experienced at some or the other point. So there is a frequency that takes you to the next level of connection that you build. Hypnosis makes you learn how to build that connection, is one way of it. Maybe Praveen?
Yeah, I just want to ask you, a general question before answering to that. Who is creating our realities in our life? Then the next question, why I'm manifesting my unwanted realities in my life? So I'm facing some illogical problems in my life. My logical mind is not able to answer. Then definitely we have to think about from where this pattern is coming actually. That's the beauty of subconscious work. So these programs and patterns, they're in our subconscious mind. Consciously we are trying to intersect, dissect again and again and again. But we are replicating the same patterns in our life, in similar situation or in a high magnitude. We are replicating the same pattern. Then we have to really think about, okay, I'm manifesting some illogical problems in my life. I have to find the logical reasons for this. Then you will get that complete answer for this. Why I'm creating this again and again.
And you can't necessarily get that logical understanding just by talking about it, because I tried that for my issue.
It's not
So
possible.
it's a completely different language when it comes to working with the subconscious mind.
And in one or two meetings, it's not possible. Exactly.
Yes, I actually want to ask you, you've shared so much of your personal information. May I know what's your name?
Amir Mashkoor.
Amir. Amir, so you mentioned that you don't understand your mind, but is that a problem for you?
No.
Then I guess that there's no question. The thing is that we deal with hypnosis for issues that we have issue with. You know, it's debilitating. It's something that affects us to the extent that that it takes away the life out of us. And so it's then through hypnosis that we access the subconscious mind to understand what is the root cause out of it, where is it coming from, how can we deal with it, so that we restore choice and we restore our sense of homeostasis.
Yeah, even though I'm not suffering from it, I don't have choice in it for myself. You know, I'll talk this way, then I'll talk the other way. I'll talk this way, and I'll talk the other way, then I'll stay in the same place. This has always been, okay? So I would like choice, just like when I booked to come to Dubai. I said, well, booking, and there were a couple of considerations, and then I got past and booked. And when it comes to this issue, you know, plenty of women in the world, and it's not that, it's me choosing to go the next step. Just like a haze or a fog or whatever you want
I'm
to call
sure
it.
each one of us have questions. Please connect with us over these 30 minutes
Yes.
free. Anytime in the coming days, you have our numbers. Please get in touch with us. Wherever we are geographically, we'll make sure we get all your answers from your own subconscious mind.
Any other questions? Any last questions? I believe we're a little bit short of time.
Time for one more. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I think everyone already decided that they'll ask one-on-one. Thank you, everyone. Thank you so much.
Thank you.